Hey guys, it's Brandon here, and I'm going to show you the very bare bones basics today on how to make a beat on FL Studio 12. When you open up the program, you're going to have something like this. You're going to have your playlist over here, your channel rack over here, your browser over here. And what I want to start off with is having a simple synth put into our channel rack here. Channel rack's where you're going to have all your instruments arranged for you. I'm going to go ahead and right click on a random one, go to insert. You have a variety of which to choose from. The one I want you to go to is this one over here, Harmless. Really good synth, but the preset is kind of ugly, so I'm going to go, or the current preset is kind of ugly, so I'm going to go ahead and select a new one. You can go ahead and play around with these. What I'm about to do here is go on the QWERTY keyboard on the row that includes QWERTY. That's how you go ahead and play this keyboard down here. You can see what that sounds all about. Go ahead and play with the bass. I'd already went ahead and selected this one over here called Flexure. Let me go ahead and find it. There it is. Flexure. It's a good little hip hop thing right there. You can build off of that. That's not what we're going to do right here. We're going to go ahead and right click on it, put the piano roll. After we have a melody we like, the melody I selected was this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put those notes in the piano roll note. The first one being C5, D sharp 5, D5, D sharp 5 again, ending with G. To play what we have so far, I'm going to go ahead and press the play button up here. Okay, that's not at all what I had played, which was so the way it works out is these spaces represent the time in which each note will be played, the time in which each note will be played, and I know the times that I want already, but let's say I didn't. I just went ahead and spaced them out a little bit, right? It's a little bit closer. Okay, that's something there. I know where I need to place my notes, so I'm going to do it now. But when you have a note, you just go ahead and play around with them. You place notes, left click, you remove them with right click. So I have my first pattern here, and now that I have a pattern, I'm going to select it right here. Notice I only have pattern 1 at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and left click to put it on the playlist. Put a few of them in here. Click on this to toggle between the playlist and the channel. Playlist right here, channel right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the playlist. The playlist is where you're going to put all your patterns to make your complete song. So let's go ahead and see what it sounds like right now. Well, right now it's kind of bland if that's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make them a little bit different. So I went ahead and left clicked on this little piano thing right here. Go down to make unique. Made it unique. Now we have a pattern 2, which is different from pattern 1. So I'm going to double left click on it to open up the piano roll for pattern 2. And I'm going to add a little bit of variant to here. Shift this note up a little bit. Let's see what it sounds like now. A little bit better, but I want even more variants, so I'm going to go ahead and make another pattern here. Since this was pattern 1 before, when you make a unique, it jumps to pattern 2, and this one, which was pattern 2 before, jumps to pattern 3. But it doesn't change the fact that they're all unique. So we're going to double click on this one, open up the piano roll for this one, and actually change this one up quite a bit. Now let's see what I got here. That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna, now very important, hold down Control, left click, and drag. That's how you select. Now Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and when you paste near the edge like this, there's a little bit of an offset right here. You see it's not quite aligned with the grid. So what you're going to want to do is drag it all the way to the left to align it, and then drag it to the right. Control Z to remove stuff. Control Z you can remove and change the alignment. A shortcut around this I've noticed is, I'm going to go ahead and select this. Delete with the actual delete key, not with backspace. I'm going to go ahead and copy this again. Scroll over here, paste, and it does it a lot better that way. So we have something like this. I actually want to change this one a little bit more. I'm going to add another note right here. Okay. Now that we have the melody that we like, I'm going to go ahead and create a drum pattern now. So to create a drum pattern, go over here, left click on the plus, gives you an option to name it, and it's generally a good idea to name it, and I'll touch on that in a bit. So I'm going to call this drums. Very generic, but it gets the job done. And at the moment, it comes preset with a kick, clap, hat, and a snare. The hat, the snare. If you like these, you can keep them, but I generally don't because I don't like them. So I'm going to go ahead and right here on this left thing, which we've neglected up until now, is the browser. So we're going to click on packs, drums, kicks. This is where you have a good library of kicks to choose from. Go ahead and click through all of them, find one that you like. The one I like for this song, I think this one's a pretty good one. So what I did now, left click, drag, and drop. Now we have that kick in there. Do the same for the hat. I want to choose a good closed hat. I like this one. So drag and drop. For claps, there's no claps thing over here, so I actually go ahead and navigate to Legacy. Open up the drums, dance. Now I have clap. I like this one. So we'll go ahead and drop the one in there. And I actually would want something like a symbol to find where I have transitions, to notify people when I have transitions. So I like this one. So what I'm going to do now is just drag again, but rather than drop on top, I'm going to drop in between these little blocks here. It adds a new block with our ride. So we have the basic building blocks needed to create a little drum pattern. So for this type of music, which is, I would say this is a little bit of a trance build right now. For the verse, I would have something like this. Remember to click on this to go between playlist and channel. I'm on channel right now. So start off with those kicks. Always want the kicks on the first of each beat. These segments represent a beat. Each of these little ones represent a subdivision of the beat. So we want our hat to play on in between the kicks. Oh, that was a clap. And the claps can do a lot of things. Notice if I put it in here in the middle, that gives you a halftime feel. If I put it in here, a little bit more of a jumpy feel, more energy to that. I want to do something a little bit different with the claps like this. Let's see what that gives us. I kind of like that for our song. So I'm going to left click. And when you have the paintbrush, you can just drag across, put a bunch of the same pattern in there. So we have that. Let's see what it sounds like so far. Not bad, but the drums are a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do now is actually vary this one right here. So I'm going to click on this, the make unique thing. This is going to be a really good friend of yours. Make unique. And now I'm going to change this one up again. Let's see, I'm going to add this and this. Okay. Makes it different from the original drum pattern. So let's go ahead and see what that sounds like in the song. I'm going to actually sample it from here. That gives you a better transition from what should be one section to the second one. So after I have that, I'm actually going to make this very first one unique and signal the beginning of the entire pattern here by adding the ride we had before. So now it'll sound something like that's good. So now that you have something like this over here, when you have after 8 measures, each one of these numbers represents a measure. So here at the 8th measure, you want to have your kick drum actually drop. You don't want your kick drum here. It'll give you an effect like this. Which is what you want. And I actually want to vary this again. So I'm gonna have, let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, let's see, I think I kind of like that. And now you have something that you can definitely build off of. It really only takes one idea to make an entire song, as I've touched on in other parts of this website. So this basic idea here, not much to speak of at the moment, but once fleshed out, you can have a very good track depending on how much time and effort you're willing to put into it. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned a lot.